Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of Game On. My name is Gavin Berry and I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Record Sport colleague Craig Swan. Michael Gannon's off for his second week in a row. Unbelievable. Swan, he just can't get the staff these days. He was over in Bologna watching Celtic almost pull off a complete Italian job. Still not bad with 10 men. Getting a 2-2 draw. That's put them in pole position to progress in the Europa League. And Rangers gave them a helping hand. Can you believe it? They got their first win in the competition. Still too little, too late for them. But who would have thought they would give their rivals a hand with that win over Ludogorets? Now, all eyes turn to Tynecastle for a mouth-watering top-of-the-table clash. We will discuss that and everything else in the world of sport, from the Superbowl to Stranraer. We have 2 minutes to debate the hot topics before the whistle blows. Craig, you know the rules, yeah?
Yes, know the rules well versed.
It's rapid. You watch it every week, don't you?
I do, yes. Never miss it.
It's rapid, and so we'll kick off. Transfer season, obviously, full swing. Just a little over a week left until the deadline. Celtic made their second signing, but the first of Martin O'Neill's since Martin O'Neill returned. There'll be more to follow, I'm sure.
There has to be more to follow.
Yeah. What's the biggest transfer wild card you think they could play? I mean, we know they're after certain positions, but is there any kind of wild cards?
I think it's reached the stage with the Celtic fans now. It's just a case of actually just getting bodies in the door. Celtic, the squad needs provisions. I think the back in the day there was Craig Bellamy's pulled from a hat by Martin O'Neill and things like that back in the day, and something like that would be spectacular for the Celtic fans. But I think the expectations are lower now, to be perfectly honest with you. I think someone like Kieran Bowie from Hibs would be a good signing for Celtic just now. I know they've got the Czech striker in, but I don't think one's enough.
No, it's not.
And I also think that with him just being the one would add a massive burden, whereas if another one was signed, it would take some of the burden off Vinkara, if I've said that.
And even then, Martin O'Neill saying he's not the answer to all the problems. He's already said, he's so, by that definition, there has to be more to come.
Yeah.
I wonder about
Celtic need positions. They need loads of positions filled, but
I just wonder about midfield. I mean, midfield's an area where they aren't really desperately looking, but then, Leipzig sniffing about on the angles. Then I know Hatate scored the other night, but obviously gets sent off and he's been off the boil. I just wonder if there could be change around there. But I'm also thinking goalkeeper. Kasper Schmeichel, he was busy in Bologna. A lot of the saves were ones you would maybe expect him to make. The Bologna's second goal, no doubt he could have done better. He hasn't been so convincing. I think in the summer it's definitely a position that needs addressed, but I just wonder if they might bring someone in January. Stefan Ortega at Man City, totally out the picture at the Etihad, is a name that just is continually linked with Celtic. 33 years old.
A little bit unfair in Sinisalo, no?
Yeah,
he's waited for a chance and he's done okay when he's been given his chance. The whole idea was he went to Celtic to be the understudy to then move into the position. Is that correct? Yeah, but you're saying he's done it okay, but I just think if there's a title on the line here, you need to upgrade. In these positions, I just think maybe going for a good bit of experience. Time's up, Gavin.
Might be help. Sorry. Oh, thanks. Anyway, whoever they buy, Craig, let me ask you this. When it comes to negotiations, could Celtic be at risk of missing out, do you think, on future targets? Because they were criticised earlier this week by an agent of the player that got away, Jocelyn Tabi, who ended up going to Sunderland. Do you think their conduct during negotiations could cost them?
I think the biggest problem that Celtic have in transfer negotiations now is not that direction, it's the other direction. Celtic bring players in with the promise of do this, give you a platform, play in the Champions League, they'll get a move. I think the situation with Dyson Maeda this year is a real blow. If you're an agent bringing a player in to Celtic. Dyson Maeda gave Celtic, what was it, 3.5 years? 2.5 years, 3.5 years service?
Yeah.
Player of the year, greatest season he'd had. There was interest in him. Celtic had the maximum value for him. That was the moment when he had to be moved on. And because Celtic had made a mess of the window and didn't have a striker in, Maeda couldn't be sold. If I'm an agent, the first thing you sit down and you've got a young player, that's the whole model. That's how Celtic built their model. Van Dijk, Wanyama. There was a bit of problem with this before when Edouard and Christopher Ayer, I think, felt like they had been kept. You'll remember
Dembele.
of course. He actually got out.
Yeah.
After, you know.
Oh, but he threw his toys out the pram. Yes. Remember? Yeah.
But you cannot have that model if you keep the players.
Yeah.
You can't have it because people. You will then think twice about coming if you think you're going to be held when an opportunity comes. Martin O'Neill basically said it. It was the German Bundesliga.
Yeah.
And what more could Dijsselmeyer have done at Celtic? It was his best. He'd given them everything.
Yeah.
It cost nothing. I think that's the biggest damage, not negotiations. I think players need to know it's a pathway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but they did do it with Nicholas Kuhn.
Yeah.
But they have to be careful and not damage themselves that way, I think.
Yeah, but the Jocelyn to be one was interesting because it's quite rare for an agent to come out and be so outspoken and go into such detail, talking about Celtic dragging their feet and how, he didn't have any medical issues. That was a word coming out of Parkhead. And then gets a move to the Premier League, who you have to assume are going to be rigorous with their medicals. So it's interesting because relationships, obviously, clubs for years have done it. They have a good relationship with an agent. And then they'll, if they've got a good client, they'll come and give them first dibs. Yeah. But also...
Burn your boats with people that don't come back.
Exactly.
And that's, if you're Dijsselmeyer's agents, what are you thinking now?
Yeah. True. Okay, moving across the city to Rangers, Craig, Danny Rowe hinted, I think he responded to a question about could they get a wow signing before the window closes. He gave his answer, but let's say, just for argument's sake, it was hinting at a wow signing, because we can do that on this.
Some of the names, I have to tell people, some of the names that Gavin has been throwing around.
Give us a name to blow fans away. Don't out me.
No.
Don't. That was off the record. Who did I say? Rudiger and Müller.
Ridiculous.
No, all I said.
Gavin had Thomas Müller coming out.
All I said to you was, we've got a licence here to be a bit adventurous, a wow signing. Even if it's not a serious
show, Gavin.
Sorry, what I said.
That's a serious show, Gavin.
I said to you on the hotline live, someone had emailed in to say Rudiger, who is leaving Real Madrid. So I'm just saying his connection with Germany. So not Rudiger, no, not Müller, not Thomas Müller.
No.
Come on,
listen, I'm all for.
You're not getting this.
I'm all for a bit of fun.
All
for a bit of fun. I know Michael Gannon likes a bit of fun.
Michael
but we need to have a bit of seriousness. We need a bit of seriousness. Listen, I don't know. I actually think Scott Olsen's a bit of a wow signing a Danish international. I think that shouldn't be underestimated.
Yeah,
that is a good sign. I think Rangers just need. Danny Rowe's done a great job. Just some more solid blocks in place. The whole thing about the Danny Rowe experience so far for Rangers has been solidity and build and doing it sensibly. And you don't go thrash. I know that we can throw any name you like out here and something, and I know, and let's all have a bit of fun. But I think they have to be sensible. I look at somebody like Sebastian Bernau at Leeds, who are going to let go of the Belgian centre half. Linked to, it's a 49ers, it's in our club. He could be leaving. I don't think Daniel Fart's been playing him. Just somebody like that, just good, solid signings rather than going down a road of, wow, Danny Rowe has shown the way he's doing it is softly. And that's the way. So I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I know you wanted Vinny Jr. or something like that, but it's not going to, not coming from me.
What I was going to say, Craig, very quickly, because I know the whistle gone, is that he surely will use his contacts. We spoke about agents. Hansi Flick worked with him at Germany. He is his, probably the best managerial contact he's got. So I was looking at Barcelona. Surely there must be someone there that he'd be happy just to give him for 6 months. Danny Rodriguez, 20-year-old, was billed as the next new camp wonder kid. They always are. Winger is going out on loan in January, in talks with Dinamo Zagreb, but deal not done yet. I just wonder if someone like that could be a possibility.
Yeah, no, it could be. I know we've gone over time, but you said wow.
Yeah, wow.
Wow. That's not wow, is it?
It's not wow, but anyway.
I don't know what you want, Gavin.
No. One player who went in the other direction, Lyle Cameron, Aberdeen, going on loan to Aberdeen, made his debut in the Scottish Cup last week against Raith Rovers. Actually man of the match, but before the game, Aberdeen fans unveiled a banner, no Old Firm loans. Do the Aberdeen fans, do the Red Army have a point in objecting to Old Firm loans?
I don't think so. I don't think so. If it's going to make the team better, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell Aberdeen fans what to think.
But they're developing a player for another club.
I get that, but if it improves your own club in the short term, that's the whole idea of loans. I mean, you want to make the team better.
Yeah.
Lyle Cameron's going to make the team better. You look at guys like Ryan Christie, Liam Scales.
Yeah.
Loan players that came from the old firm.
Yeah.
And those boys did well. It was a short term thing.
Yeah. Do you not think the issue here, the anger for Aberdeen is coming more from the fact that, it shows just the desperate situation that they're in. I mean, Aberdeen have been challenging Rangers a lot, over the years, but Rangers see them as so little a threat.
The anger comes from the fact that the two clubs just don't get on.
Yeah.
And it's a player coming from Rangers. That's how I see it. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it.
No, I think you're right.
I didn't see the same outcry when Liam Scales went there.
No, you're right. There is a huge part of that.
Got to do it.
Yeah. But if we do look at the broader point, I think there is an element of that. But if we just look strictly at the banner and see no firm loans, they are against developing these players, sending them back as better players to the old firm. I mean, do you understand? Can you understand?
I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand Aberdeen fans want their club to improve and get better and not have to rely on this short term moves like this. But that has been brought about by the disastrous first 6 months of the season.
Exactly.
And that's the situation that they've been placed in. So Aberdeen need to get better themselves first, and then they won't need to rely on loans like this.
And that's
if Aberdeen were doing this season what Hearts are doing, they wouldn't be getting Lyle Cameron from Rangers, would they?
No.
So,
and that's the point.
So their own club need to get it right first. Yeah. Aberdeen fans need to be looking at that first, I would say.
Yeah. And he is in the short term. Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. You said short term. In the short term, well, he was man of the match. He helped him into the next round of the Cup. So there you go.
Good player.
Huge game, Craig. We'll move on. Tynecastle on Sunday. That's absolutely massive. What a game.
Biggest Hearts Celtic game since the last one.
Since the last one, yeah. Hearts obviously 2 wins over Celtic already this season. 2 wins over Rangers. If they make it 3 wins against Celtic this season and go 9 points clear, would that end Celtic's quest for 5 in a row, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it would.
That's a big statement.
I think it would, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it would. I mean, I just think that Celtic... Listen, Martin O'Neill's done fabulously getting results, and the performances haven't always been up to scratch, but the results have been tremendous. I mean, the sheer consistency.
Yeah.
But just the displays that Celtic have been turning in, I just don't think lend themselves to continuing to win games. And 9 points over 15 games would be a big ask, I think. I think given where Celtic are just now, listen. You don't know how the transfer window is going to go next week and what Celtic are going to do, but Hearts, Hearts had a little bit of a stumbling period before they went to Celtic Park at the start of December, and that win bounced them on again. They then went beat Rangers after that. It's as much what it'll do for Hearts over the next month or so, I would imagine, that would maybe take them out of Celtic's grasp. Yeah,
but if we actually take the game in isolation, Hearts, the worst possible time to get injuries. Devlin and Shanklin both out injured, and Beningme, another influential player, suspended. Celtic obviously coming back off of the it's kind of morale boosting draw. I know there were 2 goals up.
Morale boosting, leg
10 men. That's what I was going to say. So when you balance it up, but Celtic
have a squad used to dealing with this. Celtic do have a squad used to dealing with Europe.
I thought you were meaning more the pressure game, more about
coming off a European game and raising themselves again. So I don't think that'll be an issue for Celtic Sunday. I think they have done that in the past, and there's enough players on that squad who've been there and over the course. And will lift themselves.
So you've said that if Hearts do beat Celtic, that's the end of Celtic's title chance. But that's what I was going to ask you. I kind of agree with what you're saying. I just think the Martin O'Neill factor, the injuries to the key players at Hearts, I think it will, and I think it could be of course, it goes without saying, it'll be a huge moment in the title race if Celtic do that. Now, moving on, Craig, we spoke about signings and wildcard signings. Tawanda Maswanisi has been flying this season, linked with Celtic and Rangers. You mentioned Kieran Bowie earlier. Last week we debated whether Kieran Bowie would be worth 6.5 million, which Hibs are reportedly looking to get for him. How much do you think realistically Motherwell could get for Nathan? What would be a realistic price tag?
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because Motherwell have done really well.
Yeah.
In the market in recent times, haven't they? They've driven some really good bargains. Was it James Scott went at Hull for £1 million?
Yeah.
They've done really well, and obviously we don't know the exact ins and outs of contracts and options and things like that. So that comes into it, doesn't it? How long's left in contracts?
Well, 2027, and then I think a year option. But let's start with Bowie. Last week we said 6.5, and we kind of agreed that it was probably too high.
Ridiculous.
So let's start with 6.5 here.
No,
are we talking about that kind of fee?
Bowie's not worth £6.5 million just now. So no, we're not talking about that fee now. Listen, Maswanisi's done brilliantly. He's obviously he's doing well for his country as well. Was it 15 goals this season?
Yeah, 16, I think.
16. I mean, tremendous signing. I think 7 figures. I think Motherwell could maybe get £1 million from him if they tried to sell him now.
£1 million?
I know. I know it sounds a lot, but the market's.
No, I was going to say, I think that's cheap. I'm thinking 3.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not sure.
Now, what we don't know, I suppose, and it's always we have seen it with players who do well at non-Old Firm clubs. Is it just a purple patch? And that's, I suppose, that's if we're talking about Celtic Rangers looking at him, that's what they have to work out. Is it just a purple patch? For a player. Or is it
last season was obviously difficult because it was a difficult season for Motherwell, but I mean, I don't think 6 months is a purple patch. That's consistent form. A purple patch is 6 weeks, not 6 months. He's clearly got it. And the vibes, for what we've seen, he can operate off a wide area. He can also go central. So, but I think there is a ceiling when it comes to what clubs like Motherwell can get, and Kilmarnock can get. I don't think they can. It's just market force. That's it. Clubs will come in with bids that Motherwell may have to accept that might not be as much if it was, inverted commas, a bigger club. That's what I'm saying.
I look at someone like David Turnbull, who went from Motherwell to Celtic for about £3 million, think, well,
listen, I might be lowballing it. I might be lowballing it. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
I often am.
Moving on, Craig, Scottish Cup last weekend. Now, Stranraer took on Queen's Park. The game was postponed. The original game was postponed. The rearranged game, Stranraer saw their keeper recalled. They had to bring in a loan keeper. He was registered, but not as an emergency loan.
Yeah.
Now it looks like Stranraer could be booted out of the Scottish Cup, despite beating Queen's Park penalties. Should they be booted out? I think there's an SFE hearing next week. Yeah, they should be. It's an absolute sickener.
Yeah.
Let's start with that. I mean, wherever you stand on it, I mean, you would have to have a heart of stone.
Yeah, you're talking about 150, 200 grand, aren't you?
Exactly.
Possibly Stranraer, and I've read people from the club saying that could be 2-3 years' money, maybe even more than that to help them run with volunteers and stuff. You would have to have a heart of stone to see, not to feel something for them fans. But unfortunately, and I know what's been said about this word emergency that's been missed out.
And it's volunteers at the club as well. That's the other thing. I know it doesn't excuse it.
But unfortunately, it was Queen's Park they knocked out.
I know.
And 2 years ago, Queen's Park got hit with exactly the same thing.
They did.
And exactly the same circumstance.
But it wasn't a keeper. You see, this is where it's slightly different, is that you need to have two keepers. So, although the word emergency didn't go on it, it was an emergency loan, whatever way you look at it.
If you're Queen's Park, you're feeling a bit aggrieved if Stranraer don't get punished the same
way. Well, exactly, I suppose.
And then Queen's Park will then get...
Rules are rules.
Yes, I'm afraid so. Afraid so.
So you don't think...
I'm sorry, officer, only did 2 miles an hour over the speed limit. It doesn't matter.
You don't think that they might even look at the circumstances and the fact that that whatever way you dress it up, it is an emergency loan because it was you don't think they'll look at the circumstances?
I think you open a Pandora's box if you do that, don't you? I think possibly. You just it's rules, hard hearts. Sorry, if the rules have been broken, if the rules have been broken, then they have to go. Yeah, sad.
It's the players. It's not. I mean, it's just we talk about the money, and the money might keep them going for 4 years, but it's it's the players, it's the fans.
You feel awful for them, but I mean, that's, as I say, it happened to Queen's Park.
Yeah, okay.
They've been there.
Let's move south of the border. Hard, bit of a rough time for Pep Guardiola at Man City. Humbled by Bodo Glimt. You've been there before, didn't you? Up in the Arctic Circle. Great setting.
Yes. Oh, I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. Although it was so cold, my laptop actually went off. The battery just drained. It just went off. It was so cold. Probably the best thing anyone's ever read. But yeah, it was brilliant. It was a great set, great wee club, and I say wee club. How condescending did that sound? Great wee club. Yeah. Well, scudded Celtic 5-1.
Yeah, and beat Man City, the mighty Man City, which brings back the debate now. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, this just proves beyond any doubt that there's no comparison between Sir Alex Ferguson and Pep Guardiola." We all kind of have this debate: who's the greatest? I mean, obviously this Bodo Glimt result coming in the back of a derby defeat. But what do you think? Is there any comparison between the pair? Who's better for you?
Different times, different styles of management, different ways of playing. Sir Alex said that, these two white guys and these two front players, it was so good to watch. Guardiola brought his own style in from Barcelona, the famous tiki-taka. I don't think there's a comparison. I think that Manchester City were starting on an upward curve when Pep Guardiola came in. Roberto Mancini had won an FA Cup. He won the famous, that famous Premiership title in the last second. I think Manchester City were on the way. I think when Sir Alex went in to Manchester United,
they were 19.
In a terrible state.
They were 19.
Yes.
They had a drinking culture. I think that's what separates Sir Alex Ferguson.
I think Sir Alex Ferguson still remains above Pep Guardiola.
For me,
for where he took his Manchester club from where they were, and where they went to, and the level that they sustained all the way through it.
I agree. Fabulous. And I read a quote saying Fergie built teams, Pep buys them. I mean, that's probably a wee bit unfair, but there's an element of truth in that. Is it Alex Ferguson?
No, there isn't really. If you can go and buy Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham and Roy Keane off Nottingham Forest, it's just because it's different amounts from the times you're in. I mean,
but he also built teams, didn't he? He brought through, he brought all the class of '92 and all that. Course, that's what I'm saying. So he did build in that sense. Yeah. I'm not saying that he didn't have money to spend.
Yeah.
But he did build, and I think it's the way he kept doing it. For decades.
Yeah, regenerated teams.
So it's the longevity as well.
And the way he was able to move on, really senior players. What was peak times in their career? People couldn't believe that they were being moved on.
Yeah.
And he just did it and without a thought.
And that's us just comparing Premier League and time in England. I mean, that's before we even factor in Aberdeen. But then I suppose you would have to bring in Pep's time at Barcelona.
Probably the greatest club team we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
So
we're just talking about Manchester here, I'd say.
But yeah. It's fairly for you, and it's fairly for me.
Because I think that Sir Alex played that Pep team in a Champions League final.
That's right.
And called it the greatest team performance he'd ever seen. So I mean, he's saying himself.
Yeah.
Was it Wembley that final?
Yeah.
So, but if we're just talking Manchester times, I still think Sir Alex Ferguson's head and shoulders above Pep Guardiola.
Okay, let's switch sports to tennis. Britain's very own Emma Raducanu. It was a disastrous second round defeat in the Australian Open.
Yeah.
I see she kind of hinted at it in their post-match press conference. She would give Rangers a run for money. Actually, she's on her 9th coach in 5 years. But is another change of coach needed, do you think, after that defeat?
Well, I think there's going to be one, given the fact that, this guy, Francesco Rui, worked with Rafa Nadal, who's an absolute superstar, tries to bring a shot into Emma Raducanu's game, which was such a potent weapon. And she then comes out after losing in Melbourne and says, that shot doesn't really suit me, I don't like playing it.
Yeah.
I mean, why on earth have you hired the guy in the first place? You must know what he's going to bring in. Listen, what'd you say, 9 coaches?
Yeah.
Well, there's a problem with the player there.
Exactly.
Right, because it's just not. Emma. The rise for Emma Raducanu was incredible. That fairy tale in New York was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just think now you're dealing with a situation of expectation.
Yes, so it's the pressure of that.
And it seems to be that burden.
Got a target in your back.
Every second thing, I might be being unfair here, but every time you hear she's got an injury, she's got a pull, she's got a muscle thing here, or this, that. I just what have we had? The 4th rounds at Wimbledon. Couple of second rounds in France, never really been in our quarter final since then. I'm afraid to say it's looking very much like flash in the pan.
Yeah.
9 coaches, I'm afraid. She's now 23. She's going to have to take responsibility on her own here with this one and make it work. It's not just down to coaches.
I know we're all related to football, but and I touched on that earlier, joking about, the Rangers coaches, but it's a bit like the recent situation with Wilfred Nancy. I'm thinking surely Emma Raducanu can't change coach again, but also the flip side is if it's not working, like Celtic with Nancy, he was just in the door and people saying, "Well, you need to give him time."
But 9 coaches aren't working.
But if it's not working, no, but that's I'm talking about changing the current one. It's clearly not working.
Yeah,
and she's explained.
But this is an individual sport. You don't need a coach.
Well,
you don't need a coach, do you?
Well,
it's an individual sport. So.
You say you don't need one.
A football team can not have a manager.
So I know, but all these tennis players have got coaches. They just didn't need them.
No, individual sport. Pick up a racket and get yourself out there. Go for it.
There you go. Great advice.
Dan Maskell.
Great advice. Right, Craig, we're going to finish off.
9 haven't worked, have they?
That's true.
Sorry, I know I'm going past the topic.
I know you will bet on absolutely anything, so I'm going to test you with it. I'm going to really test you here. So, American football, we're down to the last 4 to reach Superbowl 60 this weekend. Who will line up in Santa Clara on February 8th, I think it is. So, we've got the New England Patriots versus the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Rams against the Seattle Seahawks, both taking place this weekend to reach the Super Bowl. So, what do you fancy?
I think Denver and New England were the top 2 teams in the AFC.
That's right. So they were.
That's going to be a tight one. Obviously, Denver have the home field advantage, I think. Do we allowed to say home field in Scotland? Should I just say home pitch? But they're missing a quarterback, aren't they? Bo Nix, big
that's right.
Massive thing, massive blow for them. So they've been... I think New England might nick that, actually, away from home. Away win, as they say in the Pulse panel.
I'm going for that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I want to throw a stat at you. You're right. Okay. Bo Nix is out to injury. So his replacement, Jarrett Stidham, hasn't started a meaningful game in 3 years. And here's the stat for you, right? On only 6 previous occasions has a quarterback made his first start of the season in the playoffs, and just once did they lead their team to victory.
I mean, it's such a massive game.
So,
and you're playing against a team. You're obviously playing against. Can I say defense on a Scottish thing? But you're obviously, if you reach that stage, the New England defense are obviously playing so well at the moment that they should be able to get after him, and it's going to make a big difference. It's not like I've cut 3 or 4 regular season games to build into it. It's right into the cup final. Yeah, essentially. Well, the Super Bowl's a cup final, but the Championship Cup final. So I think New England that just might be too big a blow for Denver to overcome. You never know, it might galvanise them, but I would say, given the way American football is and it's done on a play-by-play system rather than just open play, then I think New England will set about getting after the new quarterback and they will win.
And the Seahawks have impressed most overall the season, crushed the 49ers. The 49ers have picked up a few more supporters down in Gavin, yeah,
exactly.
So they beat them 41-6. So, and strong defense. You said, in fact, the strongest defense.
Yes.
Success so often built on a strong.
I think the games have been tight. If they not played twice this season, the games have been quite tight. Really tight.
Been, yes.
I think that one's lined up for shock. I can see Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Okay, so it's New England against Los Angeles for you, and New England versus Seattle Seahawks for me. Brilliant. Let's see how it goes this weekend.
Who knew you were going to get the NFL on here? Who knew?
Exactly. See, we cover everything on here, Craig.
Cover everything.
Well, we might even have you back on next week. Oh, Michael's back next week.
No, you don't like me. You said I'm not funny enough. I'm too grumpy. I don't say anything too ridiculous. So I'm clearly red carded. I'll be like one of Emma Raducanu's coaches. I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah.
Well, if you like what you heard from Craig, fire in your comments, or just fire in your comments anyway, especially the nice ones. And don't forget, you can catch us on all the usual socials. Easy for me to say. On YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and Apple Podcasts. Thanks a lot for listening.